And welcome back, Year 10. This is now the second video of our coronavirus catch-up lessons. Let's go with that. Yeah, let's go with that. This is now the second time I've actually recorded this video because the quality on the last one was awful. And yeah, so this is a pain. This is taking ages. I swear, I do have a life. I don't just sit here filming history and then answering emails. I do have a life. Alright, I promise. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we are now moving on to the second theme, which is religion and race. Okay, so move from immigration onto religion and race. Okay, so religion, race, this is literally meaning of black people, Native Americans, white people. It's how these people interact and what happens to them. Alright, so now we're on coronavirus day 4, and now Boris Johnson stepped it up, and now we're in quarantine, so I'm not allowed to leave the house. So this is me here, just staring outside like a right weirdo. Okay, and what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at religious fundamentalism. Now we'll unpack what that term actually means in just a second, but you know how we start lessons, and you know what the most important thing about learning is. It's about that recall, alright? Always going over the information. So, let's start off with our starter quiz. Let's try and pack it all in there. Alright, so, let's try and get this better quality. Okay, so, pause it. Have a go answering these questions. We'll go through the answers in just a second. Try reading my handwriting. I know it's poor. Okay, here are the answers. See, one I made earlier, just like Blue Peter. Probably a joke you're not going to get. Don't worry. Okay, so what law made the limit of immigrants allowed? The number of immigrants allowed only 150,000. So this is the last one, Immigration Act 1929. So make sure we get that year in. All right, give yourself some extra marks for that. Why was immigration restricted? Basically, it's all about fear. Okay, it's all about fear. Ooh, message. So communism. And the Red Scare. Right, Red Scare is the fact they're scared of communists. Now the next one, what was the first restriction? So the first thing was the 9 to 17 literacy test, and then we had the quotas, 3% to 2%. Now remember, that means 3% of what was already there. So if there's 1 million immigrants, or 1 million Irish immigrants, now you're allowed 3% new of that number. And then you had this one here. So last topic, 2 marks, slightly more. Right, so what were immigrants accused of changing? Basically, politics and religion. Okay? So religion, politics, this is the communist flag. Remember, they thought that they were becoming more communist because people were coming into the country and wanted to change things. So how many communists were arrested in the Palmer raids? This is when Mitchell Palmer, who had his house blown up, started arresting communists, and he deported some, and he ended up arresting 6,000. What was a form of rehabilitation in the modern period? You could talk about community service, training prisons, rehab, actual rehab, so like drugs and alcohol. Remember, rehabilitation is just about improving. Okay, I think I'm probably going to need rehabilitation after being stuck inside for so long because it's getting crazy. Alright, so other GCSE, other topics we've looked at. What law helped businesses open in USSR? That is perestroika. The way I remember this is about money. The other one, what's it called? Glasnost. This is about opening things up as in politically. So the way I think of that is like glass. You can see through glass. So you're seeing through glass into how the political parties work. What was the first form of rehabilitation? You've got House of Correction. Correction, improving, house, place. So a place of improving. Improving means rehabilitation. That's how I remember that. And what was significant, so important about transportation? Silent stepper system. So that's when it's first tried. And then we introduce it into prisons. Right, good luck reading my handwriting. Let's crack on to the next part. So, alright. What we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at what this term religious fundamentalism actually means. Now, as it says there, it says fundamentalism. It's nothing about fun. It's not fun at all. Okay, now religious. Obviously, you've got different religions. Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. But what we're going to be looking at, and what's vital for America, and the main religion, is Christianity. Now, can you think about what are the two types of Christianity that we have looked at? Remember to pause it to give yourself time to think. That's it. Well done. Yes. Oh, well done. Yes, we have Protestants and we have Catholics. Well done. Now, what was the crime of believing something different to the king? So let's say the king is a Protestant and I'm a Catholic. What is the crime of believing something different? Well done, yes. Oh my God, 100%. Everyone's on it today. That is right. It is heresy. Now remember, this isn't mainly about USA, but this is what we're looking at crime and punishment wise. Yeah. Now, what was the punishment of heresy? So let's say I'm a Protestant and you, year 10s, are all Catholics. I hate that. What am I going to do to you for being heretics? Yes, that's right. I'm going to burn you all at the stake. Yes, and I'm going to laugh while I do it. That's what this person's saying. I mean, that's not a funny joke. People actually did die of this. Yeah, so burning at the stake. Okay, remember this is just recall from our crime and punishment topic. Now, what I'd like you to have a think about is I'd like you to think about now, why was America Protestant? Because most of them are actually Protestants at this time. Why was America mainly Protestant? Message! Oh, sorry. So why is it mainly Protestant? I'll draw you a picture to give you a bit of an idea. Look at that. That's a boat, by the way. And this is Europe. Why do you think? Oh, screen just went blank there. Oh, you're back. So remember, we're looking at white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. That's what we looked at a few lessons ago. These were sort of like the first people to get there. White because they're white and white. Anglo from England, Saxon partly from Europe, Protestant their religion. Why do you think Protestants were running away from Europe to get to America? That is right, because of heresy, because of persecution. Imagine this place is full of Catholics. So the king and queens are all Catholics. You're a Protestant and you've got two options. Stay there and get burnt alive or run away. Now, I'm a bit like, I don't know which to choose. Obviously, you're running away. Yeah? So that's quite literally why there's a lot of Protestants in America, because they literally ran away. Okay, so then we've unpacked this religious side, but it's all one key word. Now, as I've said, fundamental does not mean fun. Fundamental, sorry for making it messy, year 10, but I love it. What this means is this is the most important part. My fat hand's in the way. It's left-handed, it's really unfair. So it's the most important part. Right, what is the most important part of the Christian faith? That is right, it is the Bible, the Bible. Okay? Now what religious fundamentalism means is you're following the rules. Now, that may be hard for some of you year 10, but that's what this actually means. Now, what we mean by that is we mean literally following all of the rules. Not some, all. So you can't follow one rule that says you are given money because you're poor, but then not follow a rule that says you have to give money away as well. You have to follow both. So, for instance, if this law said, let's carry on with the KFC joke because I know you hate it. So if a Bible said you must eat a KFC at 2 a.m. doing a handstand while your friend is playing a recorder, because they're religious fundamentalists, they would literally follow that rule. They wouldn't get to pick and choose, they would literally follow that rule. Okay? Now what I'd like you to do, to try and help us remember this, is use the word, or the term, I'm not going to write it again, religious fundamentalism in a sentence. Okay? Use that in a sentence to give yourself a bit of an idea as to what it actually means. Alright, pause it, don't forget to give yourself a hint. Alright, so for instance, I would say the keywords I'd make sure I used. You make sure you use Bible. Make sure you use literal. Make sure you say Protestant. Make sure you say rules. Alright, and on we go. Oh, I'm an idiot. I just paused it, carried on teaching for about 10 minutes, and then I had a look, and I was like, nothing's happened. What a buffoon. Alright, so, when we're looking at religious fundamentalism and these rules that we're looking at all of these rules, okay? So, this picture here shows two people kissing in public. Okay, so that was banned. Okay, banned, not allowed, anti. Now, I would be okay with that because I hate seeing people get off in town. It is quite literally disgusting. I won't even let Miriam touch my hand, which she hates. Right, anti-gay rights, as it is, you know, a man and a man weren't allowed to be in a relationship. Okay, they hated that. Same with women. You weren't allowed to have lesbians together. They hated that. So the only relationship you could have was between a man and a woman. Alright. Now gambling, they hated gambling as well. So this is a dice, some cards, money. They saw it as sort of lazy, sinful, wasteful. If you're spending your money on gambling, you're not helping your family. You're not helping America because you should be giving that money to the poor. Okay, which, I mean, that's not a bad thing. Drinking as well. You weren't allowed to drink alcohol. They didn't think anyway. So they hated the fact that a lot of people were drinking alcohol. And we're going to look at that in a few more lessons because this becomes really, really important. Now, contraception. Contraception is the idea of trying to stop getting pregnant. Now, they didn't like that. So this picture here is meant to be a condom. I said I'm not great. This is meant to be the pill. And this is a baby with a cross out on it because they didn't like anything that would stop you getting pregnant. They wanted more babies. They thought God wanted more babies. A big population would help America grow. So they liked contraception. They see anything like this as in some way killing a baby, especially abortion. Abortion, no way. Abortion is when you have a pregnancy and then you remove the fetus or the baby. And they hated that because they saw it as killing the baby. Now, swimming costumes here. This is a picture to show what I mean by swimming costumes. Quite literally, costumes, outfits that you swim in. So what this person here is doing is he is measuring how long that woman's costume is. They thought that if it showed too much flesh, then it was wrong and immoral, and they hated it. Now this actually happened fairly recently. So my mum was at school and they used to measure her skirts. That's just a weird job. Imagine telling people, what do you do for a living? I measure people's skirts. I mean, it makes you look a bit like a pervert, doesn't it? But that's for them. Alright, so now, I mean, if you think about this, they would have absolutely hated our society. We have contraception, right? We have condoms, we have the pill, we let abortion happen. Britain, I mean, you know, loads of people drink. Kissing in public, I don't think it should happen, but it does happen. We have gay rights, we have trans rights, gay marriage, we have all sorts of things to help gay rights, and we have gambling, and you can wear almost what you want for different costumes. So they would hate our society, wouldn't they? Now what I'd like you to do is have a think about this question here. Why do you think each thing is banned? Okay, so pause it and then try and answer the question. Alright, so I mean basically the main answer is it's against the Bible. Some parts of the Bible say you can't have gay marriage, so ban it. Kissing in public is seen to be wrong because people don't want to see that. It's a bit like it's showing sexual images of sexual nature. People didn't like that because it's like linked to porn. Sex was meant to be something very, very private. Gambling, you're wasting your money. We've already talked about swimming costumes. It's showing too much. It's showing too much skin, quite literally skin, which could maybe arouse someone else. And again, it's that whole thing of sexualizing your body, which religion hated. Okay, drinking. Obviously, if you're getting drunk and if you're getting drunk, then you're acting in a very, sometimes in a very silly way. You're wasting your money. You can get violent. You can lead to crime. It's just a big no for that. Contraception, as I've said, it's sort of seen as killing a baby. Now, what I'd like to do is I would like you to summarise religious fundamentalism. So everything, what it is, what rules did they hate. I'll take away these pictures for now. Okay. So try to summarise everything. Cover your notes so you're not looking. Alright, those are some keywords to try and include as well. If you need their help or just to check that you've got the right answer, you can flick through your notes as well. So you've got the Bible. I mean, it's quite literally, it gave them the rules to follow. Literally means to the letter. If the rule says eat 5 KFCs, you eat 5. You can't eat 4. If you're eating 4, that's wrong. Alright, don't be eating 4 KFCs, eat 5. Sorry, Christine, about the pen, but I quite like it. Kissing, we've already talked about. I think it's disgusting as well. Gambling, it's wasting your money. And drinking, it's wasting your money again. But some people would drink, go home, and there'd be domestic abuse. They might beat their wife. Obviously, that is absolutely horrendous, and they'd be trying to stop it. Okay. Now, what we're going to look at is where this was mainly. Okay, so where is religious fundamentalism really, really prevalent? And it's mainly in this area. If this is the United States, it's mainly in this area here. So it's in the south, okay, which is still predominantly seen as a very more religious place. So yeah, so this is the place where religion is key, especially fundamentalism. Now, what we call this the Bible Belt. Now, it's not like Batman who's got a utility belt and he's just flinging Bibles left, right, and centre. It basically just means, if you think about America, like this is the middle part, all right? So I think of it like a belt that goes around America, okay, like that. Now, what I'd like you to do is answer the question, why is it called the Bible Belt? And in this, I want you to be thinking about the Bible. Why is it called the Bible? What is it they actually believed in? Okay, so for this answer, you need to be talking about religious fundamentalism, and it's in the main part of America. It's in the south. It's sort of the bit that goes around the waist of America. Okay, but you need to be thinking it's called the Bible because they are following the Bible, because they believed in it fundamentally. Okay? Now, why is it here? This is a topic that's up for debate, really, but some people argue that in places where people are poorer, they follow religion more closely. So some people would say that this area is poorer, therefore people are more religious. Okay? The idea being, if you've got loads of money, you tend to gamble, you tend to drink. These people didn't have the money to do that, so therefore thought no one should. It's also very rural. So rural is the opposite of urban, so not urban. So it's sort of like villages, small towns. So that's why I've drawn 1 house and 2 people. It's very open. There's not a lot of people mixing. So let's say if I'm in a city and I'm really religious and then I meet 10 Jewish people, well, we might have a discussion about religion and about their religion, my religion, and then my views may change slightly. Or I may meet someone who loves gambling, loves drinking, and I think, oh, they're a decent person, I like that person. So why is drinking and gambling wrong? Well, I don't really know. And then maybe my opinions change slightly. In rural settings, you don't really get that mixing. So if this person believes in religion, there's no one to argue with him. If that makes sense. So in the case of, so if this person's really religious, that person's really religious, they don't really talk and they just get on. There's nobody coming in arguing with them saying, you're wrong because of this, you're wrong because of this. So therefore there's no sort of change of opinion. And you could also say there's sort of a this is where slavery was really, really prevalent, abundant, popular. Okay, this is the side that fought to keep slavery. Because of that, they're seen as being traditional. They like things to stay the way they are and the way they've been. So if they've always been religious, they don't want to change and become less religious because that is who they are. Okay. Now we're moving on to the more important bit. Is that why does it actually increase? Because it does increase. It gets more and more important. And then we're going to look at things like Prohibition, which is when they actually ban alcohol. So no one in the country is allowed to ban alcohol. We're going to look at what they think about jazz and women's rights and how that changes. So the increasing is really, really important. Now, why it increased is many different reasons. Okay, we've got the open door policy. Okay, we've got this little thing here, which we'll talk about in a second. We have got I hate this visualizer. So we've got open door policy. We've got this little thing we talked about here, and we've got basically huge economic growth. So people are becoming richer, people are getting more money, and they're spending it more. The trade's increasing, things like this, and that leads to its own problems. And then we've got freedom for women. Right. So what I'd like to do is, I would like to answer these questions. What is this picture representing? Okay, what is this picture representing? Okay, that is urbanization. Right, so can't even spell. Urbanization. Right, so when have we learnt about this year 10 before? When have we learnt about this year 10 before? Don't forget, you can't get away from crime and punishment. That's it, the industrial period. Oh yeah. To be fair, actually, you answered that question really, really well on your last mock. So yeah, industrial period. Now, what problems does this cause? What problems does this cause for people going from rural to urban? So this is a city. Whoa, don't all shout out at once. Alright, calm down, put your hands up, and I'll answer your questions. Wow, come on, year 10. Behaviour, please. I know you're at home, but I'll throw you in seclusion, I swear. Not funny. Yeah, crime. Okay, crime increases. What was that? Sorry, my phone just went off. This way, shouldn't have your phone in school. So we've got crime increasing. Right, now what I'd like to do is, for the first two that we know about, open door policy and urbanisation, what I'd like to do is tell me how those cause fears to increase. Okay, so how does the open door policy and the urbanisation or increasing population, how does that lead to fears increasing? Right, don't forget to pause it to give yourself some time, because otherwise you haven't got a second. Right, let's go through the answer. Right, here, which I probably should have made sort of closer reference to before. As these people are coming in, if you notice here, I drew here two different religions. So they thought religion was changing, or they thought is clear there. You know, some religion may not have been changing. Don't forget, so they're limiting immigration later on, aren't they? So there weren't that many Muslims coming in, so therefore there weren't a huge change to religion, but they thought. Okay, and that fear is key, because fear leads to change. Okay, so what you could have mentioned here was fear of religion changing. Get a different pen. Where's my pens? Fear of religion changing. Which would change laws. So change laws. Imagine I'm a law-abiding Christian. I love me some Christianity. It's my favourite thing. And then laws start changing. I may start thinking, oh, no, I might be punished for being Christian. No, they may not be teaching what I want in schools. No. So this is going to cause some real anguish. And urbanisation, we already touched on it. More crimes, okay? More crimes. Now imagine I'm sat there in rural South, and I hear loads of news stories about criminals entering this country, changing religion. I'm going to be terrified, aren't I? Okay? If I'm terrified of these people, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to vote for someone to help me. Maybe even vote for less immigration. Okay, so now we can start seeing how religion links to immigration. Alright, and then what we need to talk about quickly is this thing here called the economy. Okay, so we will talk about this in more detail later, so I'll just give you a brief thing. Basically, after World War One, so World War One plus, America gets really, really rich. It does become, quite literally, the superpower in the world. Okay, there is no understatement there. They really are the most powerful country after World War One. Now, if you are getting more money, you're going to want to spend it, aren't you? Okay? It's just fact of life. You got more money, you're going to spend it. Now, some of these people started spending it on drinking. Okay? They started spending it on gambling, because they've literally, some people here become, millionaires. What are they going to spend their money on? Well, they're going to spend it on stuff that they think's fun. Now, this then goes against what? What does this go against? That's it. Goes against religious fundamentalism. Okay? Some people would argue there is no fun in fundamentalism. Other people argue it's very, very fun because they take their religion very seriously, and it's not a joking matter. So year 10, I find that very offensive. You shouldn't make jokes. Alright, then the next thing, women's freedom. Okay? So because we've got loads and loads of money, women do get some of that money. Women own businesses at this point, okay? And they're able to make their own money. So this is me here. Obviously, I couldn't quite find an orange, but I think the red suits me very, very well. So look at my gorgeous flowing hair there. I've got bags of money because of the changes. So I become freer. Freedom increases. Now, with that freedom, I'm going to do a number of things. I'm going to go out dancing. Yeah, you can't stop me dancing. Look at my legs and arms go. Oh, it's a dream. I'm also going to go out. I'm going to go, well, let's start with go out, which some people call socialising. Social, crowds of people, meeting other people. Quite literally what Boris Johnson is telling me not to do right now. So I wouldn't do it, but we're in 1920s, so I do what I want then. So yeah, so they go out socialising, and they also had new haircuts and new fashion, okay? What you can see here is me and my lovely long dress. Well, I thought, to hell with that, let's cut that off, and I've gone out in a tiny, tiny dress there. I've had quite literally, a different haircut, let's go with that, not a crazy haircut. Right, now, historically, women have obviously been treated worse than men, okay? Men have been the controlling force in a lot of societies, and they then often control women. And what they did is they controlled women in what they did, where they went, and what they looked like. And this freedom starts to change that control. Now women are going out without men. They're going out and meeting other women without men. They're buying their own drinks. Men aren't forcing them to buy what they want. Right? They're able to get drunk if they want. They're able to wear what they want. And now, obviously, to us in modern society, we think, yeah, more power to them. Go out there, have fun. But at the time, this was creating fear. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is finish this bit off here, and I'd like you to tell me how each thing here causes fear. Do we need the... I'll give you a quick reminder that... Do we need the picture? Can we get a picture? Oh, this is difficult. Alright, so how does... Oh, I'm awful with this. Alright, so how does... Oh, let's get my beautiful face in there. There you go. How does these things here cause fear for the economy and women? I really can't have both pictures in there. Right, so pause it, give yourself time to answer it. Alright, let's go through the questions. So yeah, so the economy leads to gambling, drinking, which we call loose morals. So you might hear someone say the moral of the story. The moral of the story is the lesson from the story. It's how you should behave. So loose morals, loose, not tight, uncontrolled. Now, people weren't living in the way that they should be living. They were drinking. Okay, so loose morals were people not following the conventional rules, not following the rules of the time. They were doing what they wanted, basically. So here you can talk about drinking plus gambling. Right, and then you've got women. Basically, you've got free from men. Okay, and they were acting in a way religion did not teach. So, for instance, in some Bibles, the Genesis story is a man was made first, and then from its rib, Eve was made, thereby implying women were controlled by men, really. So women now not acting in that way were acting in an unreligious way. They were acting with loose morals, and they were breaking the rules. All of these things, if we were breaking the rules, what we're doing, we're making God angry. Okay? Some people won't be going to heaven, they'll be going to hell. So for some people, religious fundamentalism is key. If I see a woman who's drinking and is gambling, well, that person's going to hell. In my head, I'm going to try and help that person because I'm a good Christian, so I'm going to try and help that person. So often, religious fundamentalists think they're helping because they think the other person's going to hell. And they also think we're damaging the USA. If someone is drinking, if someone is gambling, they're wasting their money. They're not helping their fellow person. They're not giving to charity. They should maybe pay more tax. They should be doing more things to help society. They're wasting their time. They may even be abusive to their wife, or not spending enough time with their wife or their family. So religious fundamentalists saw this sort of lifestyle as damaging the USA. Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do is, for our little red zone of the lesson, I've got two different interpretations here, and I've gone a bit crazy with the names. All right, so interpretations, that's like an opinion of history, but it's made after the event. So Jeff here, he says, I would have loved the 1920s in America. However, Ruud van Nistelrooy over here, he would have hated it. I would have hated the 1920s of America. So they're very, very different viewpoints, but they're both talking about the same thing. Okay? Both talking about the same thing. So what I'd like to do is, why are they saying something different? Okay? I'll keep this up. Why are they saying something different? That's the main question. And in that question, what I'd like to do is, I'd like you to tell me what's actually happened in 1920s America. Think of the morals, think of the rules, think of religious fundamentalism. Who would love what's changed? Who would hate it? So what I'd like to do is tell me what each person is and why are they thinking this. So why is Ruud van Nistelrooy saying he would have hated 1920s America? Don't forget to pause it to give yourself time. I'll go through the answers here. Okay, so I would have said, Ruud van Nistelrooy, I would have said if he hates 1920s America, he hates gambling, plus drinking, plus crime, plus loose morals. He hates these things. Sorry, my fat hand's in the way. So he hates those. Whereas this person, Jeff, would love 1920s. He's loving the economy increasing. He is loving gambling. He's a bit of a bad boy, this guy, isn't he? Loves drinking. You better watch yourself, Jeff. It's bad for you. Can do you no good, sir. Loves freedom for women. Good man. Feminism. Right there with you, mate. Alright, so he would love these. So this person and this person, why would they have said that? Why are these two people thinking that? Well, I'll start with this one. I think Ruud van Nistelrooy is a religious fundamentalist. Look at him. Cheeky Ruud. He loves a bit of the Bible. So he loves the Bible. Whereas this person here, Jeff, if he's liking gambling, he's liking drinking, he's liking the freedom of women, he doesn't sound the most religious in terms that we've looked at. Well, I'd say he might be an atheist. Oh, go on, Jeff, lad. Same as me. What a hero. Alright, so that is how I'd do it. Alright, if you would like another quick activity, quickly answer the question, what is religious fundamentalism? Why did it increase? And then why were they scared for America? Alright, as always, Year 10, it has been, well, quite frankly, a downright pleasure spending time teaching you, because as you know, I love me some history, and well, for those people who like to keep up to date with my personal life, now I can't propose to Miriam because I can't go to the shop because Boris Johnson won't let me. So thank you, Boris Johnson. Alright, see ya.